yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Agony? Russian me? What's going on with you? It's the 1st of June, 2022. We're a little bit early because of DJ Agony. No, sir. We doing the chill mode today. Stay in your lane. Anyway, what's going on, y'all? I'm being harassed first thing in the morning. Don't people say hello, good afternoon, good eve? There you go. What's up, Trav? Anyway, this Random Thoughts with DVP. I'm your host, DVP, making it do what it do. We're gonna talk about a couple of things, multitasking and ghetto lies, and I got another little subject I may throw in, depending on how y'all act. But if you got something you want to say, you got a question, or you want to talk to me, there is a call-in number, 678-459-4236. While we promoting stuff, like your friends like the page. That's all you got to do. I just need like 10, 20 seconds of your time. And of course, I would like an hour or so of your time on what's today? On Wednesday. I know, some of y'all go to Bible study, you heathens, but y'all ain't there today. So anyway, I've been watching the news, not really, because things ain't been going. We get so caught up in news and not researching our information, which is part of what this show is about. Multitasking and Ghetto Lies, and everybody saying this or that. What up, Ernest Moore? For you, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell my time on the show. So I want to talk about a few things that was bothering me, and right now it's just me on the show. So the monologue and the show gonna all kind of be the same. First of all, to all the men, capital M, capital E, capital N, who doing their thing without blaming women for everything that befalls them while they asking to be treated like kings and whining about every little thing. I want to salute all you brothers that do that. We're going to keep having uncomfortable conversations. And if being a man in your opinion is always dogging women who ain't did this or ain't did that, or they need to do better, then, a happy middle finger to you. But anyway, all that being said, I'm confused with this multitasking. I see it all the time. People tell me what I should be doing, what I should be concentrating. What's going on, Tasha? What I should be concentrating on, what I should be doing on my page, or I shouldn't worry about this or worry about that. And I'm confused because I'm not understanding why you think I can't multitask. See, I can read a book, I can listen to a book. You people who cannot multitask have a problem with people who can multitask, because you can only do one thing at a time. That is more of a personal dysfunction that you need to get over, not me. And since it bothers y'all so much, learn how to do it or get over it. But we're spending a lot of time. See, this goes to show that you guys can't multitask, because you got time to read my page and whine. See, that's two separate things. That's two separate things at one time. And because of the amount of times that Facebook has blocked me, banned me, paroled me, done whatever, some of y'all actually got to be looking for me. And that's okay. There's a lot of good times. What's up, Dougie Fresh? Did I say some really good shit? Sometimes I say things to spark conversation, to spark thought, whatever. Sometimes there's some things I'm really passionate about. But one is letting me be me. Like, I'm going to let you be you. And in this whole multitasking of me being me and you being you, see, and let me use Dougie first, because he's my partner. He ain't sensitive. Dougie Fresh got a whole set of issues that are unique to Dougie Fresh. His issues don't have to align with DVP. So if Dougie Fresh is worried about golfing and tennis, and DVP is worried about basketball and football, there's no need for me to tell Doug what to do. And likewise, I don't know why you worried about that. It ain't even golf season. That's his life. Where we intersect, we can connect and have conversation. But we got to stop trying to prioritize everybody else's life based on what we believe, based on what we believe needs to be done. Because again, when we start saying what needs to be done or what people need to do, we speaking a lot of times about personal issues because we're not looking at the collective. We're not looking at what's best for the whole. Because when we're multitasking, it's so fun. I watch y'all always say how we should stick together, how we got to stop the drag, or you'll blame me for dragging one. And I'm true who I am. If this guy, the host of the show, if this guy deems you to be a threat to our group or a predator, this guy will call you out. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like me. None of that. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too, because everybody has their own personal standards. See, when I make certain posts, I notice the same people are super duper quiet. And it ain't that I'm dragging people. It's just that I call them out on their bullshit. See, 3-4 times this year, I have asked you guys about this Greenwood Bank that y'all was so hype on because of certain black celebrities telling y'all it was what we needed to do. This is multitasking. If you read the fine print, you will see that one, Greenwood is not a black bank. It is a black financial place that takes your money and gives it to white people for safe storage. But they gave you 2 black figureheads who are reaping the benefits. But when I ask you, what is this black bank doing to get your money? All y'all can tell me is we need to start putting our money in black banks. But when I ask you what this black bank is doing, nobody can tell me. Nobody can tell me what they are doing, have done, or will do. They ain't got no scholarships for black kids. They ain't got no scholarships in black schools. They ain't got no book bag giveaways in black neighborhoods. So what are they doing with this money that they were supposed to be getting from us, for us? Remember that brand FUBU, for us, by us? And you got tricked on that one too? And right, here we go. Multitasking. Don't just believe the hype. In clear specific terms, the site says Greenwood is not a bank, which should tell you all you need insured, which means if something happens to your money, you are just L. But at the super fine print, you will see the names of some white banks that back Greenwood. But we don't want to read that. We just want to run because somebody says something. And too often with this multitasking and ghetto lies, we get caught up in people who say things that we want to hear, even though there is no backing behind it. There is no footing behind it. We just like the way it sounds, so we run and jump on that train. Oh yeah, we got to do this, we got to do that. I'm not sure if Greenwood is still taking applications because they haven't officially opened up yet. I just checked it out because I considered it, but I like doing my research. I have some financial people in my world who I reached out to, and they didn't tell me not to. They just said read the fine print. And then you decide, come back with questions and I will answer your questions. Oh, black people are always looking for a reason not to support each other. Okay. What's your point? What's your point? I have no qualms about saying I do not support everybody black. I don't support everybody white. I try to support good products. I try to be smart with my money so that it in turn can make money for me, or at least help me in my pursuit of more money. My goal in life ain't to lose money. I run a business. It's not to lose money. It is to make money. It is to secure a retirement and a legacy for me and mine. Multitasking. We run so much with what we want to support or who we want to support, but we won't do the research behind them because we like their message. Whatever happened to actions being important? Whatever happens to when somebody says something, hold them at their word for said something and see if they do it? Well, that's asking. And we know how they try and go. We don't want to do both of those, do we? Because that's asking for too much. And just to support it, right, Mo, just to support a business because it's black owned, that's kind of stupid. Do they have a good product? Good services? What is it that they have that garners my support other than being black? See, I had somebody tell me, man, I can't believe you don't support them water boys. Them kids could be out. They could be out doing a whole lot of other stuff. And I was like what, getting a real job? Why would I support water boys? See, I can go to the store and buy a case of water, a 24 pack. It's going to cost me about $15, $16. These water boys want to charge me $2. So what am I teaching them? That they can get over just by acting like whatever, and I'm going to overpay for a bottle of water for no reason whatsoever, as opposed to, hey, why don't you get a job? Pay taxes like the rest of us. Oh, they can't afford to get a job. They can't afford. I'm confused on how we see water boys as promoting a lucrative business. Now, don't get it twisted. When I go to my daughter's sporting event, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy some of the overpriced water because I know where the money's going. It's going to help them go on trips. It's going to help them buy uniforms. It's going to help them do things that I know because there's a whole little treasury thing. You can look and see what they're doing with the money. Oh yeah, absolutely. But am I going to support a water boy who's out there because his mom and daddy don't want to work and they see an easy way to make money, get a 24 case of water that was $15 and make almost $50 off of it? Water boys usually charge $1, and the majority of them aren't old enough to not play a partner. I don't know where you watch seeing these water boys, but most of these water boys I see are old enough to have a job. They are old enough to have a job. And they way too if they can't. Jumping in front of cars. Me and my wife was leaving an assignment the other day, and a big dude, about your size, Agony, just tried to stare me down to make me buy some water. And clearly this dude had to be in his 20s. See, if they ain't old enough to get a job, find a lawnmower. Go to the grocery store and bag some groceries. But to just sit out there and try to play this and get my money, because then all of them come out like roaches when you buy from one, they want you to buy from this one, from this one. To me, and ain't nobody got to do nothing they don't want to do. To me, it sends a bad message saying, hey, black people will throw away money on the crazy shit. Just go stand there and make $50 on a $15 investment. That's a good flip. Oh, they could be doing something illegal. Well, selling water ain't legal, just in case y'all didn't know. But that's a whole nother issue. But it goes back to multitasking. Why don't these little boys learn a skill or trade or something? See, as hard a time as I give Ernest Moore, he has a program called Future Gents where they can learn some things. The YMCA still exists. The Boys Club still exists. There are ways to earn money. There are ways. And between 9 and 13, there are ways to earn money. And we keep making excuses as opposed to making people be accountable and responsible. See, what's going to be your career path from Waterboy? As we keep talking about the education system and put them on a path where that leads them closer to the penitentiary than it does the profitability. Because DJ Agony, here's your homework assignment, my brother. When you come on the show, I want you to interview a couple of them and follow them and tell me what they're doing with that money. Tell me what they're doing. Because we know by profiling where most of them are. So we know where they live. Do they need it for rent? Do they need it for groceries? What do they need this money for? It ain't like the old days when you had football teams out there trying to make money to go on trips because these water boys supplanted them. Because they're a little on the aggressive side and violent side, and most coaches don't want their kids fighting. But there used to be something that was reserved for them to make them a little humble, to get them to earn their keep, because most of them came from low-income households and they couldn't afford the extra stuff that being on a football team required. They didn't have a bunch of donors. So they would go out there in their football uniforms and their basketball uniforms and their baseball uniforms, and the coach would be somewhere close to them, and they would solicit. They would do car washes. They would do lots of different things in order to make money. But we're in this process of multitasking. Once somebody wants to support a good idea. See, let me be honest. If DJ Agony had a little football team he was coaching or something, and he said, hey, I need some money for my boys to go to a tournament in Alabama, I would probably take my car and let them watch my car. Because I know he has a purpose. But just a bunch of strange kids being aggressive, trying to get me to pay $2 for some water because I got a bow tie on, because I drive a nice car, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen if I'm being totally honest. So we go from there. Worry about when you have a question, come up with an answer. What's the money for? Give me something. At least the homeless people tell you they're hungry, and we don't give to them, and they're hungry. Why don't we give to them? They say they're hungry, homeless, need food. They swear a lot of them swear they're veterans. I don't give to them either. There is help for them. Oh, I don't like begging people. But you're right here on the street corner, you're still begging. I don't get it. But this is me. I don't tell nobody else not to give to them. They got to do whatever their heart desires. But what I don't want to be is judged, because I won't. You don't know their situation. I don't have to know their situation. They want something from me. So if they want something from me, they should give me their situation. They want something from me that I worked hard for. See, for those of y'all that know, I got my own chickens. I sell eggs. My eggs are competitive with what you pay at the store. But I don't reach out to people. I post them. People who want some call me, hit me up, I deliver. Simple as that. I just need money to pay for my chicken feed. But I have given some away to my regular customers. I give them extra because good business people, I don't know if y'all heard, good business people take care of their customers. So, you know, when people always say, stop asking for discounts and this and this and that, whatever. I know lots of people who ask for discounts because they can get them. And in some places just give you discounts because they want your money back. Know your clientele. If you're dealing with somebody who don't make a lot of money, I can guarantee you they're going to ask for a discount. If you get somebody who values their money, sometimes they're going to ask for a discount. Again, depending on what it is you're selling and why you're selling. I have met people who refuse to take discounts. And I don't just, but some still won't take it. I respect that. I ain't finna argue with them because at the end of the day, I still control the invoice. I can get mine across. But we can't keep sitting around saying what people won't do if we're not meeting their needs and or demands. We can't keep sitting around telling people what they have to focus on because we're more focused on something else. We should be focused on this, not Johnny Depp. We should be focused on this and not Ukraine. We should be focused on gas prices and not guns. We should be focused on this and not that. But a lot of us can multitask. A lot of us can do more than one thing at a time. I am willing to bet that most of y'all are doing something else while y'all watching this show. This is where we have a problem because people don't want to be challenged. We say all these things, challenges make us stronger, but we don't want to be challenged. We like making the same. See, there are a few people who come to the show with foolishness, and I quickly call them out for their foolishness. But when people come to me with questions, I legitimately try to answer their questions to the best of my ability. But in doing that, most of the time I realize in most situations I am speaking for me. But there are times when I make a post and the people may not agree with me. And guess what I have to understand? That I represent me. If I want to say what the people think, I have to have something to base that behind. Not that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. If they're saying this, if this is what people are thinking and I'm watching them posting and what they say, I have to accept that as the norm, not just my circle. My circle is a close group of people, and most of us do have similar thought processes. I can't let that jade me to the real world. Multitasking, reach out. Mo, who's on this show, who has been a co-host of mine, we don't always agree on the same thing. We have the same end goal. Ask me questions about my areas of expertise. I will ask him questions about his area of expertise because, again, they may not all be the same. So this is where we have to do a little bit more. And as he said, if I'm going to spend my money with you, please believe it ain't going to be just because you black. That's not going to happen. I need something more than, oh, we doing this for blacks. We doing this for the kids. Don't you have a child? Da 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 da. What does that mean to me? What does that mean? What you, my child? I'm. There's a time when when the cookies come out and schools have all these events. My mom used to just buy stuff. She's like, "What did you want to get?" She buy it, and then if other people wanted to get it, she let them buy some. But she didn't sit there and try to make people buy stuff because I wanted something. Make them feel guilty. So do I make people feel guilty who ain't got no kids? Do I watch the people who got kids, I buy from their kids, but they don't buy from my kids? Because, if I do for you, you should do for me. But a lot of us don't have that mentality. A lot of us we want somebody to do good for us while we ignore them. And that's the crazy part. We don't get that because we're in need, we think other people ain't in need. Or just because somebody doesn't outwardly reach out outwardly and just beg, you figure, whatever, I can keep asking them for something. And why is that? When did we become so selfish? When did we become so selfish? And why are we so selfish? Why can't we look out for our fellow man? When did we become so engrossed in our own life that we don't care what any? When did we become so upset with somebody who challenges our thought process on somebody? We'll defend the person, not the comment. Multitasking. Means doing more than one thing at a time. Sometimes it means doing more than 2 or 3 things at a time. You can have several projects going, and they can all receive your full attention when their time comes. Some of us can poop and read the paper, 2 events simultaneously, not one then the other. We doing them at the same time. Some of us ain't. This thought process is hindering us when we feel the need to go on somebody else's page and tell them what they should be doing based on your life. See, for instance, all men could be standing up now appreciating the Johnny Depp verdict because it shows that men can be abused. Women can be fake victims or whatever, how you feel about it. So men, and I'm sure a lot of dudes is going to jump on that. And that's okay because men are being abused and they're quiet about it, as he was until she made her article. He sued and got money. So should men jump on that? Or should women jump on the fact that women aren't believed when they say this or say, because it was a trial, there was no real evidence. It was just it was a dysfunctional relationship at best. But they stayed in it and then they made it public. We should be talking about that. when we get into the Ghetto Lies and we start talking about these shootings and how black people are looking at it, we're going to talk about multitasking again in Ghetto Lies. Because if we're multitasking with the shooting, one, let's get the police did a shitty job. There's no getting around that. But that didn't cause the shooting. What caused the shooting was the bullshit rules that allow innocent people, I'm sorry, not innocent. It allows regular people who haven't been convicted of a crime to easily purchase a gun. Easily. No rules, no regulations, just money. You're 18, you want to buy an assault rifle, all you got to do is fill out an application, you haven't been convicted, bam, you get a gun. Just like that. That's an issue. That is an issue. But what do we do about it? Do we get distracted by what the police did? Doesn't change. This is where we got to multitask. We got more than one battle to fight. We need to fight this battle about assault rifles. What's the purpose of them? Who needs an assault rifle? Who needs an extended magazine? For what? For home invasion? You got to be shitting me. Here's the ghetto lie. Because there was one guy who was trying to argue with me, and you can look up the stats in other countries that don't have these issues. I can get a gun on the street anytime. And I want to put him to the test. Go get an assault rifle on the street. Please. Please, I would love to see this. When was the last time you've been on the streets? I know people who are new to the street hustle. They can't find the weed, man, because they're not just on the corners like they used to be, player. They're not on them. With the advent of social media, with these things, lots of people do shit strictly by that. So you mean to tell me you can get an assault rifle in the hood for $400-500? I'm gonna call bullshit. But this is what we keep saying when you want to distract us from the real issue. Because as I asked the question, how many of these assaults on schools, on malls, on public venues have been done with illegal weapons or by a person who was a convict? And the answer is 95%, zero. So the issue ain't illegal guns. The issue ain't criminals with guns. Criminals with guns are doing small time robberies. They are not going out doing mass murders and shooting up schools. These are regular people who went unchecked, but they all left a digital clue as to their thought processes. But as we keep our head down and mind our own business, and we see the signs, we see the clues, they give us the clues, they give us the signs, we ignore them because we don't want to snitch on nobody, because snitches get stitches, right? Because that's what y'all told me. But every time I ask the question, name 3 snitches who got stitches. 3, that's all. Because most of y'all are over 40 or 50. Now, I don't want y'all going back to the 60s and the 70s. I want y'all to give me something in the past 10 years. See, that's a big window. Name 3 snitches who got stitches. Because y'all repeat this like it's gospel. Y'all repeat this like it's gospel. And it's not. What's up, Bobby? Let's see. Bobby says it allowed a punk-ass idiot to become Rambo. The police are not RoboCops. A depressed nation and the overly intoxicated parents. And, you know, the parents are cause for a lot of it, but I can't give them sole responsibility because a lot of parents are still working and they're not being good parents. They can't multitask, some of them. They can't do what we can do. Some of them are working so hard to try to keep a roof over their head, they're missing the whole thing, which I digress because I don't believe that the case, because if you're that poor, you cannot afford an assault rifle. But that's a whole nother story. But good point, Bobby Wilson. Glad to have you. And that, look at it. Here we go. Mike, another one of the guys who like to keep me straight. AR-15s can be bought on the streets, but these shooters these shooters are street people. And I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Michael. AR-15s can't be bought on the street. Where they get the money from? And if they sell them on the street, they sell them for a high markup. You can get some bullshit 38, some granddaddy guns. Most of these people ain't selling these guns on the street. There are very few things you can buy on the street. Ain't too many people on the street no more. I ain't sure where you stay. You in Vegas? Where you at? It ain't that many people on the street selling stuff no more. You got to know somebody who can vouch for you and your somebodies. And you got to have cash. But that ain't what's happening. Even if it was true, all these guns have been bought legally with receipts, credit cards, internet. Ain't nobody smuggled these guns. Ain't nobody snuck one or stole one from their parents. It ain't happened like that. But we'll use this statement to deflate from what's really going on. Should everybody have the right to defend their home, a person? Absolutely. If you need an assault rifle to defend yourself or your home, you should need to check your surroundings. And don't get me wrong, Michael, I'm not saying it never happens. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. Because again, there was no criminal who committed prior to, I think except for one case, who did these shootings. These were seemingly normal people who left a digital footprint of their intent. The Buffalo guy, he canvassed the store 3-4 times. People saw him, but they kept their head down because we don't want to get involved, because we don't believe snitches get snitches. So we ain't got nothing to say. We're just gonna keep our head down and go through our day. But he was already talking about raping girls and shooting people. He posted on Facebook that he was going to shoot his mother, then shoot up a school. They gave out these clues publicly. They really ain't no different from depressed people who will leave a public message, but we will ignore it. We will say little things like, hey man, call me chief, take that off Facebook. We don't address the problem. We will talk about topics, but we will not talk about the issues. If you need an assault rifle, I will say this to the end of my days. Your home needs to be made out of stainless steel or some kind of reinforced cement, because any assault rifle, the bullet coming from it will penetrate the average wall in the average home, which means if you shoot somebody, even if you hit them, the way the bullets are made, because they're not hollow points, they will keep going through and keep doing damage. So that is BS. Nobody has proven that point to me. And ARs are not for home protection. You're right. If you want a gun for home protection, shotguns are the best. Shotguns are the best just because of the whole racking. Would I recommend shotguns for most people? I would not, because they can be hard to handle. They can be hard to handle. My personal reference would be depending on the person. Anybody who's giving you evaluation, if they give you an evaluation without looking at you, disregard them, dismiss them in totality. They are full of shit. I cannot tell anybody what the best gun is for them without having seen them, their hands, and letting them shoot different guns. There are some people who need a 38, period. Most women need a 38, period. 22s are cute, 25s are cute. The kick on them is hella bad. The guns don't weigh enough. But trust me, a 22 Magnum will penetrate a vest because it is so small, it will go through the fibers of the vest. But it ain't the gun that kills, it's shot placement that kills. Who want to confront me and tell me, oh, we got guns, we got this. You stupid if you don't have this. You ain't going to be able to protect this, yada, yada, yada out here. And it's all so cute. And I asked them, what kind of training did you get with this gun? What kind of training did you get? So you got a gun. You bought 100 rounds. Some of y'all bought 500 rounds. You went to a range and you shot at a paper target where you didn't get all of them in a little circle with no stress. So you mean to tell me if somebody breaking your house with a gun, they grab your daughter, this paper target gonna help you some kind of way? You mean to tell me when you bought this gun and you got to take your time, put your feet shoulder width apart, lean forward to get your weight going forward, you got to aim, front sight, rear sight, take a deep breath, pop, pop, You think that's the way these battles go? So because you got a gun, you think what now? You think what now? You think all of a sudden you ready because you play, what is the game? Call of Duty, Metal Gear, and Grand Theft Auto. You think that made you a shooter? You think that makes you a shooter? Let me tell you what you are. You are a special kind of stupid. Period. Let me read some of these comments because y'all stressing me. Y'all stressing me right now. The only reason assault rifle is a debate is because some people, not saying no names, are afraid of the scary big black man. But Mo, who's afraid of us? Us. We only killing us. We only killing us. Sorry, but I feel your pain. How many times have you read people's monologues on social media, especially people who don't know if their profile is too many times, and these too many times, and welcome to the show. Because everybody wants to be a thug. You posting your guns on there, you got them with your kids, and you get mad when defects come to the door because you got kids holding guns, which is highly illegal. What up, Doug Berry? Sandy Creek example right here. Oh, yep. You know what's up. Stop acting. So here we go. I'm watching these people, and I challenge anybody in the metro area. If you're in the metro Atlanta area, reach out to me. Go to the gun range with me. Let me put a little stress on you with your perfect target shooting. Let's see how you do when I'm just talking to you and I'm adding stress. That's all, just talking. That is all I'm going to do is talk and add a little stress. Oh, I'm going to have a little timer too, because I ain't going to make it easy for you, because that's not how shootings occur. And most of y'all ain't prepared, but you keep showing everybody what you got. You keep telling them what you're going to do, but you have not been trained for this. Imagine, if you will, for those of y'all who got kids, imagine, if you will, your 8-year-old child grabbing your car keys and starting up your car and taking off. Because they got a car. They got your car. Guess what that don't make them? It don't mean they know how to drive. Even when you take them around and show them, they don't have experience with stress with other cars. It takes time. None of us just woke up being a great driver. None of us. Being a shooter takes more, especially, ladies and gentlemen, multitasking when you are taking in shots as you are trying to shoot, because everything you did at the range is null and void. Ask the retired cop in Buffalo who got 2 shots on the shooter, but he missed lesson number 1. He had no cover or concealment, so he got shot right back at by somebody who had the ballistic vest, who was prepared to be shot at. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. I spent 22 years as a cop. I spent 5 years in the military. Having a level 2 vest is nothing like having a level 4, level 5 vest. A level 2 vest will stop most handguns. It will not stop nary a rifle. It will not stop nary an arrow. Level 4 will stop a lot of, not all, but a lot. So you ain't trained for this. We got bullets. We got though. You think you're going to just be able to still stand there, put your feet shoulder width apart, get your isosceles triangle stance, lean forward at the waist, take a deep breath, close one eye, front sight, rear sight, take a deep breath, calm yourself down and get a shot while it's 5, 6, 7 shots coming at you? Hell to the nizzle. I'm telling you, no, now it ain't happening. Especially if they got a long gun and you got a handgun. Let me explain to you how this works for those of y'all who don't understand the dynamics of it. See, this is the BS, but go ahead and play your game so you can understand. A man with a handgun, a regular, excuse my saying, man, a regular person with a handgun is good at about 15 to 20 yards. 15 to 20 yards. You might be all right. A man with a rifle is good easily from 50 yards. No training whatsoever. For you to be good at 15 with a handgun, you have had training. But with a rifle, they don't need no training. It's just point and shoot. That bullet is coming fast, it's coming hard, and it is coming at you. You're not going to stand there and get them shots off. It's not going to happen the way you imagine it. It is almost like these crazy games you play when you stand out in the open and you shoot and you watch your body die or lose blood because you stand in the open because you didn't understand cover and concealment. You shot out in the open like you were going to outshoot them before they outshot you. But remember, the initial shooter was prepared for a shootout. Very few shooters come without body armor. Tell me one more time again why anybody needs body armor, unless they are planning something. You ain't gonna get a chance to put it on somebody breaking your house. But we multitasking and talking about ghetto lies because everybody's fine. You got guns everywhere but easily accessible places. You are not effing ready, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, if you carry a gun in your purse, why even have a gun? Why even can't put on your clothes because you want to look cute? You got the gun in your purse. It's probably the heaviest thing in your purse, which means it's where? At the very effing bottom. You got to reach through other stuff just to get to it. I met a couple ladies who carry guns, not in their purse. No holsters. So you may grab the gun the wrong way because you ain't got a clue to none of this. And ladies and gentlemen, ladies, there are way too many purses and ways to carry concealed weapons. Fellas, there are way too many simple ways to carry concealed weapons. It's way too simple. But we choose to avoid all this just for the knowledge that we got one. Doug Barry says, plain and simple, there's no need for civilians to own assault rifles, period. And that should have been in all caps, period. There is no need. There is no need. If you go to a pawn shop where they have a plethora, that means a shitload of guns and stuff, you would normally see them armed with only a handgun. Let me just give you some quick little facts about assault rifles. In a close quarters combat fight, which is your room, your doorway, the rifle does you no good if you're the homeowner. You can't get it up. You can't move it around. It is useless. You got a big ass axe that you're trying to operate in a phone booth. You can't just point and shoot. It's not easily to conceal or carry. But you like the thought process that, oh, I got one, I can protect myself. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I was a cop for 22 years. Most homeowners are shot with their own guns. You know why? Because they're not built to shoot somebody who is looking at them. It takes a special type of callousness. It takes a special type of practice mentality and reality to accept the fact that you may have to take a life. That's why you hear people make stupid ass statements. And excuse me if this is you. Shoot him in the leg. Shoot. You gonna try to hit somebody in the smallest part? You have got to be shitting me. With your adrenaline flowing, you have got to be shitting me. It's not gonna happen. And if you think you can, here's a simple task for you, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to run from your car to the front door and tell me how long it take you to stick the key in the handle. Now, your key is like that. Your doorknob is like that. You should be able to do that. You should be able to do. See, that's why you can't shoot. You want me to put a bullet like this in this that's moving. I can barely hit a straight target. You can't hit all of this. So you trying to, I don't want to hurt him. I just want to scare him. You got to be shitting me. You got to be shitting me. You got to be shitting me. Behind closed doors, what's inside the homes and why aren't the ghetto boys armed as much as rural? Reasons cops won't be able to handle the whiteness. Bobby, I hear you, but this ain't got nothing to do with cops. Cops ain't robbing us. Cops ain't breaking into our homes. Now, don't get it twisted now. I'm familiar with Breonna Taylor and all that happened with that. But let's be honest. Who is it that is harming us the most? It is not somebody that does not look like us. That is not why we do what we do. Most of us who say we got guns because we don't want to get robbed, we know exactly who we talking about. We ain't talking about somebody who looks not like us. We are afraid of us. Other than that, we wouldn't be with the no snitching, would we? Because if it was white people, we'd be snitching. See, we can't have it both ways. We can't do other than me. So that means we know who it is. It's somebody who looks like us. It ain't the white boy who living in the neighborhood. It ain't the cops. It's a nice, cute excuse. With the acceptance you involved in what we saw, most people ain't got it like that. I'm going to post a thing that I saw from Baltimore, and I ain't finna get into this show because I'm gonna do a whole show about bad cops, because I keep telling y'all it's a way to get them, and it ain't from the next policeman. But Baltimore, the district attorney, an elected official in Baltimore, has a list of 305 cops who cannot be trusted because in court cases they have lied, given improper testimony, planted evidence. They have these as a matter of fact. They have these as a matter of fact. Not the other officer. This is something that the courts have. And she says she thinks it's imperative to put that out there. See, we know who knows, but too many times we keep things quiet. We're going to deal with the cops because I'm going to keep giving y'all ways to get around them. But right now, we ain't talking about the cops because most people ain't buy guns because of the cops. But wait, as Doug says, when you obtain a semi-automatic assault weapon, doesn't it automatically put you in a well-regulated militia to combat tyranny? Yeah, but who's the tyranny? Who's the tyranny? We sitting back acting like, I'm all for being well armed. I truly am. I truly am. But again, if you're in fear like that, if I'm being honest, why are you living where you live? Get you a better security system. Get you better training. Because again, most of us are not built to be killers. Most of us are compassionate. Thirdly, most of us are cowards, which is why homeowners consistently get shot with their own guns because they can't shoot somebody who's coming at them. You hear it all the time when I ask people, it's like, I think I want a gun. And I was like, why? Because I may need to defend myself. I said, would you shoot somebody? Yeah, if they were trying to hurt me. Do you realize that last statement? If they are trying to hurt you, which always means they're doing something. You cannot respond quick enough to the threat if you are waiting for them to do something. You are waiting. You're waiting. So when somebody breaks in your house at 2:30 in the morning, you're sound asleep, can you effectively grab that weapon? Know where the threat is coming from. Get to that threat. If somebody else lives with you, where you can defend your room, your child's room, or your children's room, can you traverse that whole thing? What kind of security system do you got? You're not gonna have time to look at when that alarm goes off. Have you practiced? Have you told your kids that they hear the alarm go off to lock all doors? Did you come up with a code word so that y'all will know when each other is safe? Have you shown them how to block the door if something happens? Have you made your home safe while you claiming that you need a gun for home defense? I'm a bet that we haven't, because it ain't what we do. If I go to your house and I look, because everybody tell me how they got it, and I always do simple things. I go to the rooms on the highest floors to see if they got drop ladders. Why you look for drop ladders? If the house catch on fire, how they gonna get out the house? If it's coming through the hallway and through the kitchen, that whole thing is blocked. So do y'all have ladders to get out? Can everybody jump from the second floor to third floor? I'm just asking, because we tell the lie that it's about home defense, but you ain't did nothing to defend your home but get a gun. You show me all these pretty gun locks you got. They're pretty and they're nice. Okay, so now let's add a little stress to the event. Now you got a gun with a lock on it. So when your alarm goes off, you're going to find this key in the dark. stick this key in the dark, in this lock that's in the dark, and have time to get this off and do all these other things. I asked the student to let me see their gun. Pull the trigger. It went click. Why's your gun go and click? Oh, I don't have one in the chamber. What? In case it accidentally go off. One, if you got a gun that accidentally go off, you don't need to have a gun. Under stress, trying to acquire your target. Remembering to rack back. Oh, because I forgot. When you're under stress and somebody's breaking in or shooting at you, you get to call fucking TV time out and say, hold on a minute. Let me rack my gun. Let me make sure it's one in the chamber. Or better yet, you get to call a TV time out and run to your car and go to your garage and get in your trunk because everybody need to get to their trunk. Or you got to go to the closet because that's how it happens. When somebody break in, you automatically get to pause the game like it's Call of Duty and run and get rich and situated. Ghetto Lies, multitasking. What's up, Rick? If my last resort is jumping from the top floor, see y'all at my funeral. Hey, man, not till I get in that pool. You ain't going nowhere, brother. I'm glad to have you here. Education. My family lives in a different state, but most of us have a plan, a place, and who to contact. See, that's what I'm talking about. Who to contact. Who to contact. Michael, you the man. We're going to have to talk soon. I know I keep saying it because I think you're in Vegas. But if you don't have a plan, and I know Ernest is here, all y'all old enough to know, if you fail to, for instance, I'm going to give you a quick for instance, because I trust most of you. I trust most of y'all. My wife knows that if something happens, she knows where my gun is at all times. She knows. And there are times when she knows if I step in front of her, that she needs to grab that gun that's in the center of my back and start shooting. Because I can shield her and she can shoot over and around me. See, we've talked about this. We've talked about this. People say, let me just take a drink right quick because y'all get my throat dry. People say, well, see, that's why I don't ever sit with my back to nothing. I need to see what's going on. And I teach this in class. The one who is armed or the most observant needs to sit with his back to the door. Man, that don't make sense. What if something happened? What if something happened? If somebody busts into the restaurant and they got weapons out, are you going to jump up and start shooting and get shot first? Because that's what you're talking about doing. Because you want to be able to respond. So you got to get up from this table. Oh, because you're going to be cool and calm. You're going to draw your weapon first while they're looking around. You know somebody who's moving like this and you're looking at them, you're staring at them because you ain't going to catch their attention. And while you're doing all this, now you're ready to jump up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not how this shit works. You make yourself a target with all that quick behavior. I'm just telling you real life shit. If you're the one with the gun, forget what you heard. Sit with your back to the door. Trust the person that you're with. If you're out with your wife, when she sees something that happens, you're going to see the panic in her eyes. And because you're looking at her and you're looking this way, she can tell you everything you need to know. So now you can safely get your weapon out and be prepared without giving yourself away because you're not going to jump up and be hyper aggressive. Well, babe, what you see? Way. Your wife is going to help you because hopefully she ain't used to being robbed. She going to have the look of fear on her face. And if you got any kind of training, then this is truly what you're ready for. You ain't going to have that because you cool, calm, and got a demeanor about yourself. So you can just look at her and plan your assault when the time comes for it. Just saying. But when was the last time somebody robbed a restaurant? And their shootings happen, like I say, even at the grocery store in New York. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all y'all know people from New York. And what do people from New York always tell you? How big and bad they are, and they all got guns. You mean to tell me this man from 200 miles away went to a grocery store in Buffalo, found the one grocery store with people that look like us and nobody had a gun? Do y'all truly believe that nobody in there had a gun except for the security guard? Do y'all really believe that? See, and it's shit like that that show you how people can truly function under stress. Because I'm sure there were guns in there. But when bullets are flying at you, the rules change. You ain't as big, as bad, and brave as you thought you was. You ain't doing all that TV shit that you saw. You ain't doing all of that Call of Duty shit that you saw because it is not realistic. It is not the way things happen. And if you ain't never, trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't never been shooting without this, you ain't prepared for that. That noise is hella loud. You gotta remember, you got your headset on or your earplugs in, so the sound is muffled. You know, one of the crazy things I was watching TV about them shooting in cars. Everybody's shooting cars and then they just keep talking like it's normal. If you ever have a bullet go off in that little bitty ass cabin that's an echo chamber, you ain't talking for 2, 3, 4 minutes because they're light. Oh my God, you ain't driving straight. You can't see nothing. But if you don't practice for these things, how you gonna respond to these things? But we keep saying what we gonna do. We keep saying what we gonna do, but all we do is talk. We don't practice. We don't have a realistic plan for it. But we keep saying it because we all want to be cyber thugs. But we keep getting gunned down. And you not gonna tell me, you not gonna convince me, you not gonna sway my thought processes that in all these places where they've had mass shootings, except for schools, I'm gonna go with it for schools because most of the kids ain't carrying weapons, especially elementary schools. Ain't nobody got a gun? Nobody? Nobody. I just want y'all to marinate on that. Ain't nobody got a gun where these shootings happen, but the gun. But they ain't gonna own up to the fact they got a gun now, cause this is what I tell people: when you see a gun, you gonna see it or say it. I'm sorry, you gonna do it or say it, and that's shit. Shit. Oops. Because most people ain't built for that. They ain't never practiced for that. They ain't never been stressed out for that. This ain't TV shit. You don't get to pause the game. You don't get to hit the reset button. You don't get to click it off and start over from scratch. You have to. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan, a viable plan. What does it matter if they have a gun if someone's intent on mass murder? It matters a lot, Samuel. But what matters more, welcome to the show, is a plan. See, and that's what I talked about at the but they don't. They got these guns to make them feel better like cyber criminals. Because if you have somebody who is set up for mass murderer, AK, for example, they have an assault rifle. For example, they have multiple extended magazines. For example, they have on ballistic military grade vests. Your handgun don't mean shit. A plan does. Because if you cannot get somewhere where you can effectively get off a headshot, it is a waste of time. What a handgun is going to do to a ballistic vest is slow them down for a half a step. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Perfect practice makes perfect execution. You have to practice stress. They don't have a plan to stop a mass murder. There is a plan to stop a mass murder. A shot to the stem cell that stops them, but you have to have a plan to get to that point. You have to have a plan to get where you are at a position of safety where you can shoot. See, that's what we don't accept because we don't want to deal with the reality that in a mass shooting, there will be lives lost. There will be lives lost. There's just not a whole way of getting around that right now. Does everybody have to die? No. There have to be plans in place. The easiest one to date, Samuel, is to not make these weapons so easy to get by anybody. There is no reason for anybody to have an automatic weapon, an assault rifle, extended magazines, military grade ballistic gear. There is no need whatsoever. Those are what we call not red flags, but full-fledged stop signs. These are clues that somebody is intent on doing something that they got no business doing. These young boys who want to have them, they got them for show. And then guess what happens? Somebody steals them. Now guess what happened? The police can't do nothing because nobody has a serial number. But they're not getting these guns illegally. They're getting them legitimately. There is a paper trail. If somebody's going to be a mass murderer and be a true criminal, why not make them go through the extra steps? You can't buy cocaine online. You can't buy weed online. We make people go through extra steps to get this because they're destroying us. You can't buy pipe bombs online. What better way for home defense than to have a pipe bomb put between your screen door and your front door? So when somebody opens that screen door after your alarm goes off, that pipe bomb take their asses out. Can't do it. Can't do it. Why not? Because you can't. Some people only have a gun to intimidate or rob someone, not to get into a firefight. Exactly. But right now, we're not talking about basic handguns, Sam. We're going to get to that. Right now, we're talking about assault rifles. And you missed the part. Most people who have a handgun got them from a homeowner who wouldn't shoot because they didn't have that mentality to just kill somebody. They trying to shoot them in the leg. Or we went to one lady, she shot 6 warning shots, trying to intimidate the person off. I teach this. Don't keep telling people what you're going to do if you're not going to do it. See, the first time you repeat yourself, I know you're not about that life. You only need to tell somebody to stop or I'm going to shoot. One time. If that. Shoot them. Not around them. Not in the air. Not over their head. Not at their feet. Shoot them. Well, I don't want to hurt nobody. Well, why you got a gun? I was just going to intimidate him. Worst reason ever to buy a gun is just to intimidate somebody. Worst reason. You'd be better off with pepper spray. You'll spray the pepper spray because it's less than lethal. And you know, when people ask me about handguns and I ask them, I recommend pepper spray for a lot of people. I recommend the good tasers for lots of people, not guns. If having a gun, if the only time you're going to shoot a gun is if somebody is threatening your people, and I don't want y'all to be reckless shooters, but if you need A, B, and C to exist before you'll shoot, then you're not about that life. And I don't want you not to be so much about that life that you do like a couple other homeowners did. They so about that life because they ain't prepared that they end up shooting their wife. They end up shooting their kid because they come home in the middle of the night. Son come home drunk. He fumbling. He bouncing up the steps. You don't recognize who it is. And when you say something to him because they're drunk, they don't hear you. He's stumbling. He go in the kitchen. You hear stuff falling. You go in there. You give your loud verbal commands. He don't respond. You let go too. Bam, bam. Because you are a shooter. But you are a shooter without a plan. You look. You cut the lights on. You see that it is your son. Because you did not know how to address a threat. You could not see what you were shooting at. You shot at something that you thought should not have been there. It's sad, but now you've killed a loved one because you didn't have a plan, because you didn't know what was going on in your house, because you had a shitty security system. This is where we as innocents have to do better. The single best device you can get for home defense is a great alarm. single best is an alarm system. 2 cameras. 2 cameras. And the cameras should cover your hallways. Why should they cover my hallways? So that when you're processing things before you just run out wildly, you pick up your mobile device. You hit your home alarm viewer. And then you can see what's going on in the hallway to get to your people. Then you can make a wise decision about what you need to do. But it need to be on your home screen, so before you run out and start doing something, you know what's going on. But that's too much, because you think you only got what? Only got this much time. Well, let me give you a secret. The only way that somebody's going to break in your house and know exactly where to go means that you let them in and they case your house from the inside. Other than that, they don't know what shit is. They don't know what nothing is, so how they just gonna come break in, know right where the safe is or what all the valuables are, unless you told them, unless you showed up all these guns on your Facebook page and told them what you had. See, stop showing them that. Put that sign out. Let people know that you have a home security device. Guess what? If you get a good one, even if they cut the power out, the backup power gonna last another 20 to 30 minutes, and it's gonna call the cops. And it's gonna call the cops. That's a home defense system for you. Ghetto Lies and multitasking. Guns are not the best home defense. I would bet that of everybody who is on the show today, Samuel, Mo, Roy, Michael, Rick, Ernest, Bobby, Doug, Denise, oh man, Agony, tell me, Travis, tell me, how many of y'all had to shoot a burglar? How many of y'all had to shoot at a burglar? Tasha, how many of y'all had to shoot at a burglar? So we preparing for something that in reality, from where most of us live, ain't even legitimate. We want to feel safer, and I'm with you on that. I'm with you. My wife has a gun for emergencies. I got a security system. It arms itself. It talks. I don't just have to listen to beeps. It will tell me where something is wrong, and I can go from there. My garage doors, I know when they open individually. I know, it tells me, and I can see who's coming in and out. Mike says, what is a 54 millimeter? I'm sorry. What is a 54 millimeter? It's something you and I may know, but most would say what it is. It's the people, education, fear, no knowledge. We need to fix our mentality and stop the foolishness. Just give up the ignorance and do and be right. And that's so true. Stop being ignorant. Stop passing on ghetto bullshit. If you believe that you are in a serious position where you need all of this stuff, get the security system. It's cheaper, and it will not mess with your mentality. If it goes off, it ain't gonna scare you shitless. You're not gonna have nightmares. But I guarantee you, if you shoot your child, if you shoot your loved one, if you shoot your girlfriend, your boo, your cut buddy, your one night stand, it's gonna affect you. Some of y'all, if you shoot the bad guy, it's gonna affect you. Simply because you don't want to pay $15 a month to be monitored, but you want to be safe. You want to be safe. I want you to be safe. I want you to practice. I want you to train yourself what to do Most of us have been driving a car for more than 10 years. We know what to do when somebody cuts us off. We do it instinctively because we have trained for it. We've had people do it. We've learned. Our body knows instinctively whether to hit the brake, hit the accelerator, go left, go right, or whatever it is that we need. We got that from experience. The same is true. Isn't it insane that to drive a 2,000-pound vehicle, you have to get a license, you have to be a certain age, you have to get that license renewed every 4 to 6 years, depending on where you stay. But to get a gun, all you need is a driver's license. You do not have to register it. You do not have to let them know every year that you still got it. It does not have to be checked and tested, but your vehicle does. How insane is that theory? How insane. And tell me, everybody on the page right now, how many of y'all scared of cars? How many of y'all scared of cars? But we've seen people drive cars in the buildings and shit. Nobody talks about that. We've seen people get hurt by cars all the time. But look at the regulations they go through with cars. You get taxed for them. They get inspected to make sure they're roadworthy. Is it that hard or something to do? So don't get it twisted. I'm going to talk about the screw-ups that the police did. What up, Sam? I'm going to get more on here. Hopefully I'm going to get a couple other guys because I want to talk about where the police messed up. I want to talk about that, but I don't want us to get distracted by this Second Amendment issue that ain't about taking guns from people. It's about registering guns and making certain guns illegal to have by the general public. Yeah, when I was an active duty cop, yes, I should have had an assault rifle with me. One simple reason, anytime I may be called out. I don't always have time to go here or there. So yes, I do believe active duty cops should have them. Military, they got them in special places. Nobody just gets to walk around with it unless they're in a war zone. But as a free civilian, no, unless you're doing certain things. And there should be a whole registration for that. Ain't nobody infringing on nothing. I got the right to bear arms. You do. And I got the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. If you bearing a gun infringes on my happiness, which right is more important? This is where we have to start making decisions. You look at other countries, they don't have these issues. Nobody has mass shootings like the most civilized country in the whole wide world. Why is that? If we're the most civilized, we're the most intelligent, if we believe all the bullshit that we're saying, why do we need guns so much? Why do we need guns? Why do we need so many? Who does that? Why don't all women need guns? They're the ones who are getting raped, who are getting accosted by us, but you don't see women talking about overly arming themselves. Why is that? Sam, well, you're a PI, so you probably got a gun or a gun. They're not as emotional as men are when it comes to that. And men, we need big guns because we're compensating. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? But again, where's the training? Where's the training? I ain't trying to knock nobody out of nothing. I just want you guys to understand, if you're going to undertake this event, this traumatic event, and arm yourselves to the T for all these things that you think are going to occur and all these bullshit scenarios that you set up in your head that you've never practiced for. Stop lying to yourself. Stop setting yourself up for failure and blaming another system. I am well armed, no doubt about it. I will never show you guys my guns. They are where they should be. I have an 8-year-old. They are not anywhere where she can get to them. But with my other kids, I took them to the range early so they could feel the power of a handgun. And guess what? They didn't like it. So I didn't have an issue with them because we did have the conversation. We did have escape plans. We had all kind of things. They didn't like the way that gun felt when it went boom. Because I personally am not a fan of locks. Because if I need my gun under stress, I know, ladies and gentlemen, look it up. Under stress, the first thing to go is fine motor skills. That's why you can't run to open your door. Fine motor skills go first. So the last thing I need to be trying to do under stress, if I'm thinking somebody is breaking in because my alarm is going off and my machine is telling me somebody is entering my house, I need to be able to put my finger on that trigger, find the target, point and shoot, not unlock, not rack, not put a magazine in. I am telling you, that is way too much. That is way too much. Wow. Samuel says, breaking news, there's a mass shooting at a medical building in Tulsa. We are a world of copycats. It will keep going on until we figure out a way to stop it because everybody wants to be the biggest, the baddest, the nextest. They want their 10, 15 minutes of fame because this is what we have created through this mass hysteria. Understand this. Look it up. Thank you, Samuel. When mass shooters go places, they used to go places that they think people won't be well armed. Schools, malls, hospitals, restaurants, clubs. And you know what's funny about all those places? In churches, there are people with guns in all of those places. But they're not prepared for a mass shooting. They're prepared for a disruptive source, but not a killing source. Then I thought I did churches at 6. But people got church, they got guns at churches. Trust me, I know. But again, having a gun does not make you equipped for the fight. It just means you have a gun. Because you are not going to tell me that people at these places are all unarmed. Everybody's unarmed. Everybody's unarmed. That is so much bullshit. But they realized what that pucker factor was like. They realized when their ass cheeks got tight and you say it or do it, and that shit, they are not prepared. It ain't like talking on Facebook saying, oh, somebody do this, I got this. Oh, somebody do this, I got this. Anybody who tells you different is lying. If you are at your home and all of a sudden you hear gunshots and windows breaking, you know what you are going to do? You are going to duck your ass down or get shot. You are going to duck your ass down. Ain't nobody running to the window to see who did it. It is not happening. By the time you get to the window, 10, 15, 20 seconds have gone by. Enough time for this. Wherever it is you got it that ain't in your hand, and foolishly try to chase down somebody because you don't know where you're going. But when the shooting starts, survival mode kicks in. You are going to duck your happy ass down unless you have trained extensively to go toward gunshots, which is counterintuitive to every survival skill most of us should know. Doug says, one thing, they've got to stop capturing the mass killers alive and unscathed. Nobody's going to ask any questions if mass killers bite when the police engage. And Doug, I'm going to tell you why that's not a good theory, because we need to know how they got them, what was going on. Now, and this is a little insider knowledge. This is how you find out who is really who. There's some who do it for the fame. There's some who do it because there's such thing as suicide by cop. Like I said, when I get into cops, I'll talk about that later. And a lot of us don't want to go to jail. We do things so that we put ourselves in a position not to. Not saying all of them. There are a lot of times that is the ultimate goal. White people, they want to cause havoc, but most of them don't want to die. They think they do until the shooting starts back at them, until they do the quick math and realize, here I am holed up with 100, 200, 300 rounds, but damn, there's a SWAT team and a shitload of cops out there with probably 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 rounds. They want to kill me. And then now they want to negotiate to come out. And people don't accept that part of the trade-off. But I'm telling you, a lot of times that's what it is. If you don't get them when they first come, they've had time to think about what they're doing. They know now, shit, I can just plead temporary insanity and be out in less than 10 years. I think I'm going to give up. I'm going to let them talk me down. Oh, right, Sam, you were late. I talked about Uvalde. That was a whole separate issue. And hopefully you'll be able to join me when I talk about police responses. But I don't want to confuse or mix police responses with what we as the public should be doing. You know, I tell you, I got to think about corrupt cops. I got to think about shitty cops. I got to think about coward cops. But don't get it twisted. Cops come from the community. Cowards are cowards. Whether you give them a badge, whether you give them a cleric collar, whether you give them a typewriter, cowards will always be cowards. Polyester won't change that. I've known people who have been in shootings or shootouts and quit immediately after. They weren't prepared for that life. They thought being a cop was going to be like on TV. All you got to do is write traffic tickets or lock people up for jaywalking. Every now and then you face a violent criminal. They weren't prepared mentally for that. When I was in the military, same thing. You have. I went to a war zone. You have people who are just not built for that life. It's nothing like they thought. They wanted to join the military for the free scholarships, the GI Bill, whatever it is they got going, and they got tossed in a war zone, and boom, they messed up their whole career because now you're finna get a dishonorable discharge. But they aren't about that life. Doug says, I'll be honest. I'm disappointed every time they're captured unscathed, just being honest. And I get it, the sentiment behind it. But if we don't know what creates them and how they create them, it's hard to stop them. Even though simply changing the Second Amendment would slow a lot of them down. And I'm not saying it will stop them. But if we stop selling these weapons of war, these weapons of mass destruction, it will slow the whole process down. We cannot make it easy for them to get. Can they get them on the black market? Sure they can, but they're going to cost way more. It's going to take them a little bit more time. It's not going to stop a motivated shooter. But somebody who's having a temporary breakdown, as they all seem to be having, it won't happen for them because we'll get past this point process of keeping our heads down and not getting in other people's business, letting that be their problem until it affects us. Then we want witnesses. See, Doug sees a woman get slapped. He's minding his own business. Hey, man, that ain't my business. Then next thing you know, Doug get a call because his daughter got slapped. Same guy. Now Doug want people to come forward. See, too many times we want to hold our head down and not be a part of nothing because snitches get snitches, even though can't nobody name me 3 snitches who've died in the past 10 years. So, but we like perpetuating that lie because it makes us feel good about not telling. It makes us feel good. Oh, I ain't telling you no shit. Snitches get stitches. They ain't bothering me. But eventually they bother somebody. And the fact that we like repeating that stage means we know without question that we are the primary violators of us, be it proximity, be whatever excuse we want to give. It's bullshit, but we stick behind it because it makes us feel better, because we don't want to know nothing until it knocks on our doorstep. Then we want people to step up. I ain't seen my glass in a while. It says Random Thoughts with DVP. But we need to research, though. We need to know what is making them do what they do. What was the point of snapping? What was the point? I used to disagree about video games, and I had to start looking at the research. Video games does give people these, it promotes their weird thought processes. They like seeing blood. They like how easy it is to kill on TV. On the game, they think it's the same. It ain't like that for those of us that played Madden or any other crazy video game. It's different. Very people who say no snitches be the first one shit. Exactly. So this is something that we've got to stop. We've got to stop with the ghetto lies. We've got to stop with them. We have got to take more accountability. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? Do I want my people to get better? Let me stop first. Let me first stop blaming everybody who is outside of our circle. The damage is coming from within our circle. Once we protect the whole circle, then we can start getting outside the circle, because people will know that this circle is unbreakable. Right now, our circle is not unbreakable. That's why it's easy to attack, because we are so discombobulated and disjointed and disenfranchised. We don't look out for each other. We don't talk to each other. We don't check on each other. Michael, was it you who said you had a plan, a contact plan, so that everybody will know something? Well, people in the military got what they call, it's an emergency plan. Once you get the call, once somebody calls you, everybody got other people to call. Everybody got 2 people to call. And it goes down so that everybody gets the information. Once somebody ain't got to call 20 people, the first person, bam, 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 bam. It's a flow chart forward so that everybody can be included in something. Which boy was neglected, Mo? In Uvalde? Which boy are you talking about? And I want y'all to understand this. And Mo ain't here, but Mo has a group. Mo wants to post a group where we talk about doing things for boys to try to get them better help, to try to get them a true mentoring system. And I was telling somebody earlier today, because I'm gonna do a show on this. We got to get beyond this. They got that all boys have to do certain things. All boys are not created equal, like all men are not created equal, like all people, not all women. So Mo, put your group up there. If you want to be a part of the process of helping Mo to come up with solutions to help boys deal with conflict better, deal with life better, check into the group that he started. Because right off my head, I can't think of the name of it because I got too many things going. But Mo, put your group in there. And fellas, if y'all want to check out the group, join the group, and help us come up with solutions. Because you know I'm about having solutions for problems. Don't just have a bunch of problems. Yes, the group is called the group, join the group, and let's become a part of the conversation so we can come up with things that we need to do to help our men, our young men, become better men. Let's train them right from the beginning as opposed to trying to fix them what they didn't have. This is what we have to do. But did anybody answer the question? Why aren't more women talking about having guns? Cinnamon, you still with me? Why don't women talk about having guns? They're the ones who are raped. They're the ones who are robbed. They're the ones who are attacked more often. But you don't see a bunch of them saying we got to get guns. Why is that? Why is that? Anybody? But it's men. It's men. Samuel, have they said who they thought the shooter was yet at the at this hospital? Or Roy, you got anything? Samuel says there was a mass shooting at a medical building in Tulsa. And this ain't and
let me see what I can find.
If you're noticing, a lot of places where these shootings are happening are repeat offenders. This is the third mass shooting that Texas had, a gun that's really liberal about gun. And don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Them Texas Rangers ain't nothing to fuck with. I dealt with them. They ain't nothing to fuck with. But the Texas Rangers were. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Uvalde except it was a small town. Okay, right, he said not yet, but the shooter is dead. And I don't want to turn away and look at the TV. I'm supposed to be a good host. But this is the insanity portion of it. Why aren't women asking for guns? Why aren't women asking for guns? Okay, it ain't on my CNN yet. We're okay with that. But we want them to submit to us because we're going to protect and provide for them. But where are the men when these shootings happen? Where are these protectors and providers who claim this is what they want to do? The guys who want to be king. Ernest, where are they? Mo, where are they? All these kings who built for war, who built for this, who built for that. I'm going to protect you from whatever. But where are they? Where are they? Anybody? Can you tell me? Anybody remember? Whew. Anybody remember the George Floyd video? Anybody remember the George Floyd trial? Derek Chauvin trial. Let me rephrase that. Anybody remember that MMA fighter, a professional fucking fighter, standing there watching the life be knelt out of a black man for 9 minutes, and all he did was talk. All he did was talk. This is a professional fighter. And somebody challenged me on this, and I told them, go look at the video. It sucks, but ladies and gentlemen, go look at the video. Tell me which officer was a threat to the public. Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck. He had his hands in his pockets. Looked like he was playing pocket pool. The Asian guy didn't have his hand on his gun, baton, flashlight, pepper spray, nothing. The third officer had his hand on nothing. He did not have a weapon in his hand, not a whistle, nothing. They weren't even yelling, telling people to get back. But here you have a trained MMA fighter, a black man, a warrior, a king by Ernest's standards. And yes, I'm picking on you, Ernest. But he stood there. What woman do you think will feel safe with him? He's a trained fighter, but he didn't do shit when it was time. He didn't do shit. And here we go. Every time something happens, every single time something happens, where are the men? They're not attacking convents. They're not attacking. Okay, I see it now. It's on MSNBC. Gunman reportedly dead. Where is it happening? Multiple people killed in shooting on Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital campus. Wow.
All they're showing, all I'm seeing is a live video. They're not. I don't know what they're saying, but nothing else is. They're just showing police cars right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, I just saw the MSNBC saying the shooter. They think the shooter's dead. Most people shot, and I just read it just popped up on CNN breaking news. I don't have Fox on my phone. I have to visually look for it. Okay, no more. I'm not saying MMA skills can stop a reckless gun. I'm talking about MMA skills as far as dealing with Derek Chauvin. Nobody had their gun out. Nobody had pepper spray. Nobody had anything in their hands. All he had to do was launch himself and knock Chauvin off of Floyd, and he'd still be here. He was too scared to even do that. And this is what we say, because I put this out there to several guys I know. Why don't you do this? Oh man, people can get killed helping other people. So if that's your mindset...
D, hold up. Here goes something. They got somebody on the mic. Let me try to drop it in right quick.
What's up, Ari?
Well, as soon as, of course, I do that.
All right. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that later. Ari, why don't more women want guns based on what... my point, Mo? At that Derek Chauvin, nobody had a gun out. None of those cops had a gun out. None of them had pepper spray in their hands. None of them had batons. None of them had anything. A black
D,
man,
hold up.
several black men were there.
D, hold up. They went to the national news, so let's see what they talk about.
Saying 3 people are dead and multiple others were injured. It happened at a medical building on the campus of St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa. Police are saying a man with a rifle made his way into the facility and up to the 2nd floor. Officials are saying at this hour the shooter is also dead. I want to turn to Rahima Ellis, who's been following these details as they're just unfolding a few moments ago. Rahima, what have you learned?
Well, Savannah, we're finding out more by the moment. As you point out, the details are still coming in. But police are telling us, as you pointed out, this afternoon it was a man with a rifle who entered that facility called St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and started shooting. Police, as you say, believe at least 3 people have been killed and multiple others wounded. Authorities say the gunman went to the 2nd floor, but it's not clear, they say, because it's too early to know why he chose that location. Police say the shooter is dead. It was not immediately clear if he was shot by officers or if he took his own life. Authorities are still clearing the facility room by room to make sure there are no more threats or possible victims. But they say it's no longer an active shooter scenario.
All right, so here we go again. It's going on. And again, it is hard. It is extremely hard to defend yourself against somebody with a long gun, AK rifle, whether it's a hunting rifle or an assault rifle. Rifles can reach out and touch way more than guns. And unfortunately, too many places don't want to train for life and death scenarios. They want to train in scenarios. Remember, I was a trainer. They want to train in scenarios that give cops the same false sense of fucking security. Like, this will be easy. I'm gonna use Roy now because I know Roy ain't sensitive. Roy shows up with the rifle. I'm with my hand. The rest of your life, stop or I'll shoot. Roy don't give a fuck. He's probably in a moment. He ain't hearing nothing I'm saying. No way. He on his last leg because he done got him a legally purchased gun. Now he having a mental break, which is the bullshit they tell us. He knows if he stays beyond 15 yards from me, I can't get a good shot. He knows that if he's within 50 yards of me, I'm easy pickings. So, I should be a logical person who doesn't give a shit about my own life and approach this man with ballistic gear on and say I'm gonna shoot. I let out 5 rounds, all center mass, which is the strength of a vest. And Roy takes a couple of steps back. He might even cough. But now his fight or flight kicks in. He realized that he has a rifle that will reach out and touch you and do way more damage. He lets off 2-3 rounds. I drop. Whoever's next to me drops. Whoever behind me drops. And he continues on. And you know what people will do? They will come to my funeral and lie about a great hero I was. My mama ain't gonna give a shit. My wife ain't gonna give a shit. Because he was a hero. He died trying to do this while other people still died. Fact is, when mass shootings happen because we allow them, there will be deaths. There's no way of getting around that. But as one of my students told me one time in 1 hour active shooter drills, she said, I asked her, why you didn't rush in when I was killing your coworkers? And she said, Bill, everybody ain't got to die. Now, her coworkers were upset with her that she didn't rush in and get killed with them. But she waited, got 12 more officers, and they subdued us. Who was right? Who was wrong? Was she wrong for not coming to get killed too? Oh, she was a coward. When did wanting to live become cowardly? When did knowing that you could? If I walk up to Roy right now and put a pistol to his head and say, I want the keys to your car, should Roy be out and give me the keys, or should he be a hero and die for his car? Because he got a gun. I got a gun in his head. I want y'all to do any simulation with water pistols and see how quick you can get out of the shot with somebody got a water pistol to your head. See, if you don't prepare for shit, you won't be ready for shit. Now, how could Roy defend himself? Well, I got a little simple standard. I tell people to never roll their windows down until they driving. See, if your windows ain't down, it's a little hard to get that shot off. He may get hit with glass if I shoot, but I know about glass. The average bullet, when it hit that glass, is going to already expand. And then it's going to shatter the glass, and it's going to be off target.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm actually just sitting here producing a show right now, so.
Then, if he locks the door, I can't pull the door open. There are lots of ways, there are lots of little things that we can do to eliminate this. Hey, Roy, your mic is still hot. There are many ways that we can do this. But we have to prepare for worst case scenario, not for, and I ain't picking at you, Ari, not for the God be offense moment. We have to be prepared for worst case scenario. And I'm not saying we got to live in fear. I'm just saying we got to be prepared. When you are prepared and you stress yourself out, A lot of your reactions become muscle memory. Your mind will do what you've trained it to do. If you trained it for stress, if you have not trained it for stress, nothing will happen. Nothing, because you have not practiced for this. Again, I'm all for going to gun ranges. You need to practice falling on your back and shooting at a target from not a prone position, but from a falling on your back position in case somebody knocks you down. You need to train for this. You need to learn how to shoot under things without laying flat where you expose your whole body. These are stressful situations that you need to train for, not just standing there, feet shoulder width apart, isosceles triangle, leaning forward at the waist, front sight, rear sight, deep breath, slow trigger pull, boom. No, you have to add stress to it. No stress, no training. Simply having a gun is not enough. Having a plan will always beat having a gun. Having a plan will always beat having a gun. Having a plan will always beat having a gun. I have worked at a bank. 2 separate doors to get into where the bank area is. The first door is where the metal detector is. It only lets in one person at a time. One. The first door, the metal detector determines if you have any metal when you go through it. If it determines that you have metal, everything locks. Everything locks. You cannot get through the second door. Everybody's safe now. Everybody's safe. The shooter is trapped between 2 ballistic pieces of glass. It ain't blue today. It's pineapple, I think. But you have to train for this. Michael says shooting in the snow. You're right. Because guess what? That's a different kind of cold. Shooting in the rain. You can't expect to always shoot in 75-degree weather with no sweat. That run and shoot. Get your heart rate going. There is nothing at a generic shooting rate that will get your heart rate going. Understand this: when you have adrenaline flowing, ladies and gentlemen, adrenaline gives you the shakes. Adrenaline will give you the shakes. Once you are in fear or something else is going on, you get that shake. You got to learn how to control it quickly. You don't get a chance to take a lot of deep breaths when you're in an active shooter thing. If you get a chance to shoot outside, get you some balloons. Get you a target. You can either have the balloons going around the target and you got to get them, or you can let the balloons pick a color and let the balloon be the good guy and shoot the other balloons as the wind is swirling. These are things you need to learn to adjust to if you believe you are in an unsafe environment where this may be necessary. Training must be realistic as to what may happen at some point, not convenient. It must be realistic and not convenient. I'm just saying. Practice shooting with the other hand. The other hand, not your weak hand, but your other hand, just in case your shooting hand gets taken out of commission by whatever. You might slam your hand in the door. You might have a cast on your strong hand. You cannot mentally derail yourself by saying, oh, this is my weak hand. I can't do it with this hand. I got to do everything left-handed. I got to do everything right-handed. The shooter will not care. You do not get to call time out. This is not Call of Duty. This is not Grand Theft Auto. We have to be prepared, give up the ghetto lies, and learn to multitask. Shoot at. If you don't know what it is not safe to shoot at it. These are important little details in the training process that we have to get through. No, I'm not. This is what we do. But in the meantime, we have to learn multitasking. We have to prepare for bad events. I know that we don't want to talk to our kids about bad things because bad things never happen, but we have to prepare for them. I spent a lot of last year talking about this subject, and this is what I'm gonna close out on because I have to close out at this 7:42. 19 kids died at Uvalde. 19 children. Out of those 19 children that died, ladies and gentlemen, do not be upset with me. Listen to me talk to you about real life. Do you have life insurance on your children? You can put them on as a rider to your insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, this is important. I am telling you, yes, we do not want it to happen. Does not mean that it won't. There's nothing, absolutely, well, not many things that are worse than one, losing your child, and two, not being able to afford burying your child simply because you did not want to pay an extra $6 a month because you hope nothing would happen. It is bullshit. You can get plans where you can get them insurance that turns to a cash thing when they turn 18 and go to college. Insurance for your children. Get insurance for your children. I met a lady who was in a car wreck, devastated. She survived. She had no insurance. She could not give her daughter what she deemed to be a proper burial because she had not planned to die before her daughter. Most of us don't plan to die. We just accept it as a way of life. It sucks to talk about it. It sucks like hell to think about it. But get insurance for your children. You never know. We know what this world is. We see what's going on a daily basis. We just had a shooting at a hospital. Thank you, Bobby. But what is a safe place? Not hospitals, not churches, not parks, not McDonald's, not schools. What's a safe fucking place where we can be certain that nothing is going to happen to them? Figure it out and let me know. Figure it out and let me know. If you got questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to inbox me or send me something. If you got something that you want me to talk about, inbox me or let me know what you want to talk about. If you got questions, whatever it is, I'm multi-talented. Sometimes I have guests, sometimes I don't. Just depends. I just didn't need guests today, and I'm sorry. Roy gave me a phone number to give y'all, and I forgot to give it to y'all. But I want y'all to be able to call in, ask me questions. Let's come up with solutions, viable solutions, not just keep hoping, not hoping that God will be a fence or whatever it is we say. Y'all know I'm not religious, ain't got nothing against y'all. But we can't keep hoping that tomorrow's going to be here and great for everybody. You think people go to the hospital with the intent of being killed? You think kids go to school wondering if the day is the day they're going to get shot? People to the page. Help me build a brand. It's free. All you got to do is like the show, share the show. Invite your friends to come. And again, if it's something you guys want to talk about, let me know. If you got questions, let me know. It's 7:46. I'm gonna hold the doors open for 4 more minutes in case y'all got questions. I apologize to anybody I didn't speak to, but as I can tell, this one is kind of bothering me. So this is kind of personal. So yeah, it is random thoughts because I'm getting tired of people telling me what I should do. We cannot live in fear. So yes, there are things about life I totally enjoy on a daily basis. Does not mean I forget about the threats in life. I'm not going to live my life in fear, but I'm also not going to live my life in a fantasy land thinking I'm invulnerable because I got military, because I'm a cop, because whatever the fuck it is. I can be a victim too. I've been a victim of car wrecks. Who knew? Nobody plans for those. Anything can happen anytime to anybody. We have to prepare for these. But if you got nothing else on this show, which was so, get life insurance on your kids. Get the ones that will convert when they turn 17 or 18, and then give it to them as a graduation present. But let them continue it. Make sure you got insurance on yourself. I'm watching us buy guns, TVs, fucking Jordans, sneakers, but no life insurance. It pains me, but I refuse to contribute to a GoFundMe because this is something that I've talked about. I've had insurance agents on here. I will have some more again, but this is something I talked about. We can't keep being afraid of uncomfortable conversations. We can't keep being afraid to face reality head on. We do not have to live in fear, but we should walk with caution. Top of your agenda every day. I know this is a sucky market, but it may be time to relocate. Maybe that time. So I'm thinking you guys are good. It is 7:48. I got a couple things I need to take care of. As always, I appreciate you guys spending time with me and talking to me, asking me questions, engaging and challenging me. I really do. Bobby, Ernest, Cinnamon, Mike, Ari, even though you was late. I'm gonna did I say Michael? Rick? Oh, happy belated birthday to your wife, Mo. We're gonna do a show, like I said, we're gonna do one about the kids and about cops, because I know you're the man for that. Samuel, I appreciate you giving me the update. This is why I love my people, man. This is why I love my people. They keep me focused. They keep me on point. This is just what we gotta do. Dougie Fresh, hey man, since the 80s, we've been rocking. Who have I forgotten? I don't want to forget nobody in my part, because I try to speak to everybody. Y'all tell me that's what y'all like. Rick and T, I'm coming to the pool. Bob, I'm still gonna get you on the show. You're gonna quit running from me. Doug Berry, hey man, give me a poem or three. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Denise, thank you. Hey man, so I'm out because Roy got to get ready to do another show. Roy, you got anything you want to tell them about? As a matter of fact, if you're thinking about doing a podcast or you want to do something like what I'm doing, reach out to Roy M. Evans or at my JBN and talk to him. See what he got planned for you. He can, if this is what you want to do, if you tell him I sent you, what's up, Tracy? Tell him I sent you. I will even help you if you're not comfortable with it first. I will help you to get comfortable with it. We thought we could be. Tracy, stop coming so late. You're in trouble. All right. So I didn't drink all my stuff because I got carried away. But I'm going to drink it. So until next week, I want to say thank you for Random Thoughts with DVP. That's me. Like I say, share the page, share this show, invite your friends to like the page. Inbox me anytime if you got questions, comments, or concerns. You want to share something with me. So yeah, until next time, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.